Right then, Wednesday, it is the final of the Conference League. Real Betis taking on Chelsea. Chelsea favourites going into this tie. But in the end, it's all about somehow Antony. This is what Manuel Pellegrini had to say, what he had to say about the man on loan from Manchester United.
I spoke with him before he came in to Betis. He told me that he was not playing because he was not happy, but he had a lot of complaint about what he has done also, so he wanted revenge. And here in Betis, I think that he had it, and he did it in the way we know that he can do it, because it's not easy for you to pay 100 million for a player. And Antony is a very good player, and I am absolutely sure that this is a huge time here in Betis to continue improving his career.
Alex, who'd have thought that Antony would take up so many column inches since that move from Manchester United?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time we've seen a story like this, is it? A player with a huge amount of talent, not getting the most out of it, needs a change of scene, a change of environment, a new club, moving away, crucially, from Manchester United and excelling. But no, it's been a really good story for Betis, and he's been one of the key players in making them one of the most sort of fun teams to watch in Spain.
Funny old game, Steve, isn't it?
Aye. I tell you what, though, you've got to give him credit. You know, he could easily have gone there, and that anger could have just made it worse.
Sure.
But he's managed...
Trying too hard to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But he's managed to harness it, and I mean, you see the goals. I mean, that's quality.
Yeah.
I mean, that is... I'm not going to say 100 million euros worth, but that's definite quality. And so if he can build from here, question is, does he build next year at Betis, or does he have to go back to the madhouse? That's the question.
Sid, how big a game is this for Betis?
Massive. I would go so far as to say I think this is the biggest game in their history.
Wow.
If they win, this is the biggest moment in their history. We're talking about a Betis side that in their entire history have won one league title in 1935, just before the Civil War. They've won 3 Copa del Reys. When they won it, well, was it 2 years ago? That was the first time in 17 years. So this would be only the 5th trophy in their history. They've never been in a European final. It's true that this is a Conference League. It's not the biggest of the 3 European finals, but it's absolutely gigantic. And that sense as well of having a presence outside of Spain, I think, is really important. And it's been just a lot of fun watching them play this year. And Antony, I mean, genuinely, I think you can make a case for saying that since January when he arrived, he's been the best player in Spain. Alex was talking about Isco. Him and Isco have been phenomenal since the turn of the year. Absolutely brilliant. He has been really fantastic. And I think Manchester United will be delighted, by the way, because, of course, this was a player that they couldn't get rid of. This is a player that they put out on loan partly because they had to put him out on loan. And now you've certainly got the rest of Spain thinking, oh, this is someone we could be interested in. Now, I don't think for a minute that Manchester United are going to have someone coming along and offering them 100 million euros. But they are going to get someone coming along offering 30, 40, 50 million at some point, I would imagine, if there's anyone out there with that kind of money. And if he was to score a goal in this final as well, it would make it even bigger a story. This, as I say, for Betis, this is absolutely enormous. And I think most of it, he's not very old. I think at that point he was 32, he's 33 now. He's not, or maybe even 31 at that point. So he's not very old, but it did feel like this is a guy that's kind of tired of some of the stuff that goes with football, that's had a few physical problems, that tried it at Sevilla. It started for a while. The manager he liked, Julian Lopetegui, went. He didn't get the deal that he wanted when he tried to go to Germany. He's been out of work for 6 months. The logical thing now is that he sort of drifts, and in a few months' time, someone says, oh yeah, Isco's retired. And instead, in a few months' time, we've got Isco's leading Betis back into a Champions League place, and he's now leading them to the final of the Conference League.
And he's back in the Spain squad as well, yes, Sid?
He's back in the Spain squad. I think I might have lied there, by the way. Did I say he was back in the Champions League place? They just missed out, actually, on that. He is back in the Spain squad, which is phenomenal. I don't know whether this is something that Luis de la Fuente seriously thinks is a possibility in terms of him being in it now and staying in it in time for the World Cup, but certainly in it for the Nations League. And that's a reward, I think, for the way that he's played. And he's just a lovely footballer to watch anyway. But I'll tell you something that struck me. The other day I was at the Betis' training session, and watching him train. Now, look, you know that he's talented, and he does things even in training that no one else can do. And it's actually quite enjoyable watching the other players kind of look at him thinking, wow, what he just did. But it's the effort that he's putting in. It's the drive that's there that wasn't always there in his career, because he was always a player based on talent and technique. He was kind of, low slung backside, and he would do things slowly but with great technical quality. You're seeing him chase people down now, and I think that's partly perhaps driven by that awareness that he was coming to the end, and that awareness that what's happening now is a second opportunity, and one that he cannot afford. Well, maybe he could now, but absolutely doesn't want to let slip him by.
Real Betis then the underdogs. A lot of nice stories going into there. You hate Chelsea these days, Steve. It all plays out beautifully. You've missed it, Shaq. Oh, people are angry at Steve.
I wonder why.
What's your prediction then, Stephen, for this?
My favourite team,
Yes.
outside Liverpool, Chelsea, to win.
You think so? You think, despite all the stories, the romance of it?
Yeah, I mean, again, big picture. Betis have forgotten how to win a game of football. I mean, it's 6 games since they won a game. They've drawn 4, lost 1. Chelsea, as average on the field as they've been,
Almost a compliment, Shaq.
I've just found a way to win. So I don't expect Chelsea to be at this stunning best of maybe last December.
That's the worst compliment I've ever heard in my life.
But I expect Chelsea to lift the Conference Trophy.
Shaq?
I'd love to see Betis win it, but I think Chelsea will get the job done.
Alex?
Yeah, Betis are definitely underdogs. Definitely. It'd be a great story if they'd win it, but I think Chelsea are rightly favourites.
There you go. Sid, are you going?
No, I'm not.
All right, then.
Thanks for that, Sid.
That sounds like a prickly thing. Who took your ticket, Sid? Please tell me it was Gab.
I don't know if anyone in particular. Yeah, that would be hilarious, wouldn't it? I'd like the idea of... But then, of course, Gab would just be wandering around Poland looking for a restaurant. So,
Yes.
not missed anything much there.